We are just 2 days away from Halloween. And while there's so many ways you can celebrate spooky season, there's also a couple of things you need to be careful about, right? Some concerns about when you get those treats for the little kids, what the kids are getting while they're out celebrating and how they can safely eat and avoid the bad stuff. So joining me today to talk about what parents should be on the lookout for is Elizabeth Burcham. You're an ENT Physician Assistant at Advent Health in Parker. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This is such a fun season. I don't want to like bum people out here, but there's a couple things you got to be careful
Absolutely.
about. So let's talk about broadly, big picture safety concerns for kids when they're out trick-or-treating. I know it seems obvious, but.
Sure. I don't know if it's always that obvious. There are a few things that parents should be aware of, and they all involve things that kids are going to put in or around their ears, nose, and mouth. So things that can pose choking hazards, things like button batteries that are found in a lot of the light-up toys around the holidays and Halloween, and as well as when children try to do their own magic tricks and have little tiny objects disappear into their ears and noses.
You sound like someone with little kids.
I do have 2 little kids, yes.
Yes. Choking hazards. I'm thinking of, kids, especially as they get a little older, they're just going to like glom onto that candy. But they have a general understanding about how to eat safely, the little kids.
Yes.
Is there particular candies or types of candies you worry about the most?
Yeah, absolutely. So children under 4 years old should not be given hard candies. So I don't know if these exist anymore, but things like jawbreakers or gobstoppers. Sticky candies like taffy, and then whole nuts. So you think of your almond joys with the almond on there. And then a surprising one as parents try to offer healthier alternatives to candy is popcorn as well. So kids under 4 should not be given popcorn as well.
Just all things they could choke on.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that happens. This is not just some
absolutely.
like, oh, yeah. No, it really happens. You guys really
happens.
see these folks in the hospital, right?
Absolutely.
Ugh, okay. And then the other thing, you mentioned button batteries already.
Yes.
Batteries and magnets scare the daylights out of me as a mom of a toddler. You can't always control what's going in a box, but like, what are we looking for? What's the good guidance on that?
So things like, button batteries, those tiny little objects that are.
They're in like small toys.
Yes, absolutely. So small little light up toys, those festive light up headbands, even in some greeting cards, as well as some decorations. So as a general rule of thumb, if they're inevitable to have in your house, most thermometers, which if you're a parent, you have a thermometer in your house, contain them. Yeah, exactly, right, one on every floor. Make sure that they're shut with a screw. And if they're not, then just toss them or keep them out of reach of little kids.
That makes sense. I also had it didn't happen, thank goodness, but a case recently where I thought my daughter got a magnet and I was furiously on the floor trying to find the other piece of it. I found it.
Good, I'm glad.
But like, we don't mess around with that. That happens, you need to get your behind to the ER, right?
Absolutely. Button batteries are a true ENT or a true medical emergency and should be treated as such.
Same with magnets?
Magnets, yes, absolutely. Chances are if there's one, there could be 2. It's more severe if there's 2 magnets, because they can attract each other, but one, it could get stuck and it needs to be surgically removed in some cases.
I've seen enough medical dramas to know we don't mess around
sometimes medical dramas are accurate. Not often, but sometimes.
And we're talking about trips to the hospital again. We're really not trying to scare folks here. We're just trying to tell you this stuff can happen. Keep an eye out for it. What are other things you see kids coming in through the ER this time of year? Families too.
Yeah.
Like what brings you in on Halloween other than button batteries?
So I think a really common one as well is, like I said, kids have a fascination with sticking tiny objects in their tiny ears and noses. So I think the most common one we see are beads, but around the holidays, sequins are on a lot of costumes. I mean, I've seen paper and rocks, everything in a child's ear, you name it. If it's small enough to fit in an ear or nose, they'll try to put it in there. I don't.
You're scaring me as a mom of a toddler.
They have a very strong will. I'm telling you what, that kids are sneaky. They're very determined and a heck of a lot smarter than we give them credit for. So I don't think putting objects in their nose and ears is entirely preventable, but I think to decrease the likelihood is just extra supervision or just keeping them away from children.
Vigilance.
Yes.
And a good sense of humor. As she said to me before we got into this segment, they're cute for a reason because they need to be.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Elizabeth Burcham with Advent Health Parker, thank you so much for coming in today. And hey folks, be so careful when you're out trick-or-treating. We can have fun this season.
Absolutely.
We absolutely can. All right, thanks Elizabeth.
Thank you.